Hey, I'm Stephanie, and it's time to talk myself out of a fashion rut. Maybe you've experienced something similar, the kind of rut where we stare into the depths of our closets and think, how is it that with all of these clothes, I still somehow have nothing to wear? And so we just gravitate towards the same old, same old. This is not the first time I've been here, and I'm sure it won't be the last. So I thought I would create 3 easy templates that I can use both now and in the future whenever I need to pick myself up out of this pothole. And I am going to try all 3 of them out today. If you're experiencing something similar, maybe this exercise can help both of us. And we won't be alone, because this video is in collaboration with my friend Brittany from the channel Born Blushing. So if I can't manage to scrounge up enough helpful tips for us today, I'm sure she will in her video, because that woman is dripping in style. Brittany has a natural elegance of which I can only dream, so I highly recommend visiting her channel and subscribing, especially if, in addition to vlogs that include elements of fashion and beauty and style and lifestyle and decor and just general amazingness, you also enjoy astute examinations of consumer behavior wrapped in extraordinary humor and dry wit. Before getting to know Brittany as a friend, I just knew her as a creator who was both entertaining and thought-provoking. Brittany really is the whole package. Now that you know about Brittany, and I am sure you're going to go check out her channel, do it for your own good. I'm telling you, it's time well spent. The moment has now come to get to the task at hand, discussing style. If you've been following me since the beginning, you'll know that I originally started this channel as a way of trying to help me find my own sense of signature style. I even have a whole playlist about it if you're interested. And although I haven't been quite as public about it as of late, that journey has continued behind the scenes. For instance, my wardrobe is now just a third of its original size, and as I have slowly pruned it down, I feel like I'm beginning to see what makes my style my own. And yet, my smaller, more curated wardrobe has not prevented me from defaulting to a sweatshirt and leggings for the past couple of weeks. Am I still overwhelmed by my wardrobe? I'm not so sure. I have seen so many style influencers try to solve the problem of this very wardrobe rut by using declutters, by creating capsule wardrobes, by reorganizing their closets, or choosing minimalism. And I have taken some of their very good advice and dabbled in all of those things. Yet here I stand in the rut. So what if the problem's not the wardrobe? What if it's my frame of mind? In my experience, when it comes to the psychology of getting dressed, there can be many potential blocks. For example, sometimes I'm just really tired, and the sheer prospect of having to assemble a stylish ensemble is just overwhelming. Even if I take that great style guru advice of laying my outfit out the night before instead of doing it the morning of when I'm groggy and in a hurry. Another psychological block could be that maybe I'm not feeling quite as comfortable in my body as I would like to for one reason or another. And I just don't want to expose myself to the added potential physical discomfort of wearing clothes that don't quite feel or fit right at the moment, or the emotional discomfort that can sometimes arise from that. The list of potential mental blocks is long, so if you can think of any more that you'd like to add in the comments, feel free to do so, because it might help me or someone else get to the root problem of their wardrobe rut. But what I think has become clear to me is that this problem is a psychological block for me right now. I have been abnormally stressed out over the past several weeks, which led to a lack of sleep, which then led to my whole system just kind of getting thrown out of whack. So basically, at the moment, nothing feels quite right physically, mentally, or emotionally. It's not a disaster, but I'm just in a mild state of all the time right now, which would explain my tendency towards athleisure clothing lately. And for the record, I don't think there is anything wrong with wearing sweatshirts and leggings or whatever else I feel comfortable wearing. But something I have noticed is that the way that I present myself outwardly can often impact the way I feel inwardly, even if I'm working from home and there's nobody around to see me. And when I'm feeling so chaotic and disheveled on the inside, sometimes the act of getting dressed in more official clothing can bring a little bit of order to that inner turmoil. Sometimes a seemingly superficial change can bring an inner shift, which is why I need a template. a formula that minimizes the amount of thought and energy I need to invest in feeling my best. Something I can fall back on when I'm tired and uninspired. And because I know there will be some days when I need to pull myself further out of the rut than others, depending on where I'm going, who I'm meeting, what I'm doing, I decided to create 3 templates. The first one I'm calling the Grunge Goblin. This is the first baby step out of the rut that might not necessarily be considered stylish by any fashion guru, or anyone else for that matter, but the intent of this one is simply to get me out of my sweats and starting to think positively about style instead of dreading it. The priority here is on fun. The second is the Comfy Cute template, and this is the one I intend to use on days where I'd like to look more put together than I feel, but don't necessarily have a heck of a lot of energy with which to do that. So the priority here is going to be on comfort and simplicity. I'm calling the last template Easy Elevation, and I intend to use this one on days where I need to look my best, even though I may be feeling my worst. And the priority here is on how to simplify creating a refined outfit. But we have rules. Number 1, we have to keep things easy because a stressed mind doesn't need any more tough stuff. Number 2, we have to keep things comfortable because if we're already not feeling our best, we don't need to add to that by wearing irritating apparel. And number 3, we have to use things we already have because we need to solve this problem here and here, not out in the world in some random dressing room. Before we begin, let me introduce my assistant Doris, who will be helping me assemble the outfits before I put them on. As per the rules, all items will be coming from my closet, and some of them might be decades old, which could make it hard for me to link things. But because people sometimes do ask, I'll do my best to link either the same or comparable items whenever possible. But keep in mind, this exercise is about the templates, so it's not really about what I'm going to choose to wear, it's about how I arrived at that decision. And now, let's get started with the least defined template, the Grunge Goblin. One trick I often use to build outfits when I'm feeling uninspired is to start with an accessory. Maybe something I haven't worn in a while, but I think is really cool or really pretty, or just maybe has a general vibe that I'd like to channel. Today, I'm going to start with the base, the foundation, the shoes. And I have a pair of shoes that always makes me feel fierce. That is the energy I need right now. So I'm going to start with these ankle boots I thrifted years ago. They look weathered, a bit feral, they're really comfortable, and they go clickety-clack. You know that power sound that high heels make? They do that. That's bringing the perfect amount of drama right from the get-go. And that choice makes the next one pretty easy because I almost always pair these shoes with boot-cut jeans. But today we're not just going to pair them with any boot-cut jeans, comfy boot-cut jeans. The material needs to have enough stretch and give that I don't feel any stiffness or constriction. So I decided to choose these very worn-in Levi's 515 Nouveau boot-cut jeans that I also thrifted ages ago. Moving upward, I'm going to go with my default choice for any time that I want to look put together but don't want to really put in any thought, and that is by choosing a plain black top, because plain black goes with almost anything. That means it's going to be almost impossible to make any kind of mistake with a layering piece. And I definitely have to add a layering piece because it's autumn and it's cold. So I chose this soft, comfortable, oversized, upcycled flannel from a small company called Wildly Witty. An oversized flannel might not be the most stylish option, but this shirt is big enough to hide in, comfy enough to cuddle up in, warm enough to be cozy in. It doesn't constrict movement at all, and it's not a sweatshirt. And the whole point of this Grunge Goblin template is just to get me out of my old patterns. So to get me away from the sweatshirt and into something else. Keeping it comfortable and keeping it simple and casual is fine because all I'm trying to do is get my brain into a different place. And this does that perfectly. And now that I have my momentum going, I can just keep it up. So let's add a hat. Why? Because a hat can cover a bad hair day. And when I'm feeling tired and stressed, the last thing I want to do is my hair. So this accessory will relieve my stress by removing that obstacle entirely for me. I can just cover my mop with the cap. Any cap will do, but I figured I would choose this one because it's plain and has structure. Something my life needs right now. So I'm gonna get it anywhere I can, including the hat. Also, it's beige. And I know how much Brittany loves beige. For anybody who has yet to discover the joy of born blushing, I'll let you in on a little secret. Brittany does not love beige. Watch your channel. You shall see. And while we're here, I'm going to add one last accessory. Aviator sunglasses. Because I feel like it rounds out the vibe, which I think I'm going to call trucker chic. It's not fancy. In fact, it's not even particularly flattering if I really look at it. But you know what? Who says every outfit we wear has to be flattering? Sometimes the purpose of an outfit isn't to impress anyone. The purpose of this one was to get back into playing dress up without any fear of failure. It was just to get me thinking about my wardrobe again and getting active. Plus, the glasses, the hat, the oversized shirt, they feel like they serve almost as a kind of shield, which is actually really nice when I'm feeling stressed and vulnerable. And the clickety-clack of the shoes, please. That's just fun. You know what? My neighbors think I'm super weird now. But it's okay. The feeling's mutual. All in all, the Grunge Goblin template boils down to keeping things comfortable while, 1, starting small with accessories. This inspires me to be playful and see getting dressed more as a game than a chore. In this case, the fierce ankle boots inspired the bootcut jeans, and then the whole outfit just kind of cascaded together from there. It also includes choosing elements that make life easier. In this case, the cap removed any need for me to fiddle with my hair, which is a huge relief for me when I am short on patience or time or energy. And for this template, it's also important to include elements that can easily mix and match with almost anything. In this case, both the jeans and the black tee fit the bill. The simpler, the better. After all, this template is called the Grunge Goblin and not Grunge Glamour. Now, although this Grunge Goblin version of me is more dressed up than my athleisure wear self of late, sometimes I do want to or need to look more put together than a goblin. So this is where the Comfy Cute template will come into play. The key here is to keep things simple, because when I'm in a rut like this, the idea of getting dressed up is mildly intimidating. So the mantra here is less is more. I'm going to choose a sweater dress as my pièce de résistance. Then I don't have to worry about coordinating tops and bottoms. The piece I chose is from Angel Eye. The fabric is soft and non-constrictive, yet it is thick enough to be warm and cozy. Honestly, wearing this dress feels like wearing a warm hug. Plus, it's beige. I'm going to pair it with opaque black tights, because then I don't feel like I have to shave my legs, and my black heeled Doc Martens. Yes, they're heels, but they're very broad and stable, so they're very easy to wear. Plus, the black on black elongates my legs a little bit, and when you're only 5'2", every bit of elongation helps. I'm not wearing a hat with this outfit, so instead I chose a very easy hairstyle that takes less than 2 minutes, thanks to my friend here. Her name is Sammy. She's from INH Hair, and she is a lifesaver because I can create the exact same look using my own homegrown hair, but that takes about an hour. With this clip-in piece, it takes virtually minutes, and the less time I spend on my hair, the better. When it comes to accessorizing an outfit in this template, I feel like it's kind of take it or leave it, however you feel. My hair happened to be up, and I just happened to see my statement earrings, and I thought, what the heck, I'll put them on. It looks like a dramatic choice, but really, the drama just comes from their size, but they're so easy to wear. I literally just pop them in and forget about them. Same thing with the rings that I chose to wear. I just chose the first 3 rings that I saw in my jewelry box, and that was it. The choice literally took less than 30 seconds, and I was fully accessorized. All in all, the Comfy Cute template boils down to keeping things simple by focusing on just one main element and keeping everything else simple. In this case, the sweater dress was it, but really any comfortable dress would do. I also think that a comfortable suit could work because even though it's 2 pieces, they're already coordinated, so you don't really have to think about it much. I also kept the hair simple. I could have done that with a hat, but in this case, Sammy saved the day. The last thing to keep in mind is that accessories are optional. If they're easy, go for it. If they're not, don't. But one thing I like to keep in mind is that going big doesn't necessarily have to be a big deal. For instance, when I chose to wear those statement earrings, I just popped them on and forgot about them. But they added some dingly dangly flair, which was pretty fun. So if the inspiration is there, I don't shy away from it. The last easy elevation template is reserved for a break glass in case of emergency scenario in which I absolutely have to look my best without sacrificing what little mental capacity I have to do so. Once again, simplicity is key, and we can create simplicity by choosing a limiting factor. So I am going to select color. This outfit's going to be monochromatic. And since I feel like we've tortured Brittany with enough beige at this point, I'm going to switch things up and choose blue. These trousers from Banana Republic are not just comfortable because of their wide leg, but also because the fabric is exceptionally soft. To be honest, I feel almost a little bit like I'm cheating by choosing these because it feels kind of like I'm wearing sweatpants when I'm wearing them, but they don't look like sweatpants. Plus, the pleating adds a little bit of structure. The denim shirt I chose to pair with the trousers is also very soft, and it's loose enough that it's not going to constrict my movements in any way, shape, or form. Plus, if I'm in the mood, I can even add a vest I have that's made of the same soft, comfortable material as the trousers. This combo makes me feel a little bit like I'm from the 1940s. If I had the energy, I would add a red lip and some victory rolls, but as it stands today, less is more. So if I was having a good hair day, I would leave it down. If not, maybe I'd add Sammy or a hat. Half the time you see me wearing a hat, it's not a fashion statement. I just didn't feel like doing my hair. My accessories are also inspired by blue, but I felt like a turquoise-leaning blue would naturally add a nice bit of a pop. So I chose a vintage ring from my mom, a bracelet a friend made me, and the hat band on my Barbour fedora is actually just a wrap necklace from Target. The hat originally had a braided leather band sewn onto it, but I thought it was a little bit boring. So a couple of years ago, I ripped out the stitching so that I could exchange the band whenever I wanted to, and I've been using necklaces as hat bands ever since. And it's been a really easy way for me to tie this hat into all sorts of different outfits. The shoes were probably the easiest choice in the whole outfit because they're the only blue shoes I own, and they are just my navy Docs. The easy elevation template boils down to making refined choices. One way to do that is by choosing a limiting factor. In this case, I focused on creating a monochromatic look, and choosing the color blue just naturally restricted my choices because I was limited to the handful of blue items I had in my wardrobe. A second way we can do that is by choosing pieces that give us the space to move with grace. Because when we can move comfortably through the world, not only do we feel better, but I think that just generally helps us give off a more polished impression. In this case, the loose cut of those wide leg jeans, the loose cut of that denim shirt, and the soft fabrics all helped me achieve that. And a third way to do it is to select pieces that have an element of structure. In this case, the pleat of the pants and the shape of the vest added a bit of definition despite all the soft, loose fabrics. And that definition made the outfit look a little bit more deliberate. Hopefully, this exercise will jumpstart my inspiration to get back into playing dress up instead of just getting dressed, going through the motions, you know? How about you? Do you have any tips or tricks that you use when you're in a rut like this? If so, I hope that you'll share them in the comments because I obviously need all the help I can get, which is why I am so looking forward to going and watching Brittany's take on this topic now. I hope you'll join me. Her info is linked in the show notes. If you are new here, maybe you came from Brittany's channel, welcome. It's an honor to meet any friend of Born Blushing. I'm so glad you're here. I hope you'll introduce yourself in the comments. If you enjoy beauty and style content like this, I hope that you will like, subscribe, all that jazz. But even if you don't, have a wonderful week. And let's all remember that even stumbling can be a form of moving forward. So let's stumble in style.